The Secretary General of the OECD told me this morning inflation in Western economies is one of the challenges linked to the swift recovery from the pandemic. I talked to Mathias Cormann exclusively about what the developed world should be doing next.
Some of the challenges that we're dealing with at the moment are actually directly related to the fact that the recovery was so strong and so rapid. And indeed, demand recovered so quickly that supply and the changing composition of demand, the supply was not able to keep up. So many of the pressures that we're dealing with at the moment are directly related to the strength of the recovery and the speed of the recovery, but there were always going to be downside risks to be managed. The biggest one, of course, being further waves of infection and indeed new variants of the virus.
What's your biggest message, if you will, at this point for the advanced economies who are now having to negotiate inflation for the first time in decades?
Well, the first message is we've got to stay on top of the health situation, and we've got to do everything we can to ensure that we minimize public health impact from the pandemic. The pandemic is not behind us. We need to continue to focus on getting as many people across the world as possible vaccinated and boosted as quickly as possible. When it comes to fiscal and monetary policy, we need to ease out of elevated levels of support gradually and in a way that is carefully calibrated and carefully planned and well communicated. It's very important that policy makers and leaders from around the world continue to talk to each other and work closely with each other and coordinate policy approaches internationally. And that's why fora like the G20 and others are so important to ensure that there is the best possible approach to optimize the strength and the quality of the recovery. I mean, the theme of the Indonesian G20 presidency, recover together, recover stronger, is a very appropriate theme for the times.
The reality, though, is very different. We have not recovered together, and whether we attempt to be stronger together, the mere fact that the developing world is still crying out for vaccines, whilst the developed world has hoarded and boosted and done everything it possibly could. Now, the situation may be getting better, but we seem to have learned nothing about the importance of helping others.
Well, recover together, recover stronger is a very important aspiration, and it's a very important statement of purpose, and it's one that the international community needs to continue to focus on, including and in particular through fora like the G20. We can focus on all of the things that could have and should have worked better, or we can focus on doing everything we can to make them work better from here.
What about debt, the overhang of debt that exists as a result of this? Now, for excellent reasons and valid reasons, countries have to spend. No one disputes that. At what point does the OECD believe it's time for governments to start repairing their own balance sheets?
As soon as is sensible, countries need to revisit the opportunity for budget repair, for balance sheet repair, in order to rebuild resilience for any future external shock, which, while we don't know what the next external shock will be, we can be certain that there will be a future external shock. And there are, of course, a whole range of structural challenges like climate change, like the digital transformation, like the aging of the population across large parts of the world that will continue to require fiscal firepower that will need to be rebuilt.
I see your home country, Australia, has now reopened. Tourism is going to be back. There's some wonderful pictures of people being able to go back home to Australia for the first time. Is there a feeling now that the end's in sight for this?
Well, I certainly think that across the world, while the pandemic is continuing and downside risks remain, the world has increasingly learned to live with the virus and to manage, our daily lives in a way that is, while not 100% safe, is as COVID safe as possible. I mean, vaccination rates across the world, while not high enough everywhere, are now very high in many parts of the world. And indeed, I mean, the sort of risk management processes are now quite developed to enable a reopening of activity and a reopening of borders, more broadly.